Hello and welcome back to Hermitcraft Season 11. I'm glad to hear my choir of skiers are still singing, and the farms that I built in the previous Hermitcraft episode are still up and running. We now have access to infinite firework rockets, infinite wood, infinite villagers, infinite cobblestone, and infinite iron. Okay, it briefly got stuck, but now it's infinite iron again. Wait, did I never build an item collection system for this? I did not. Oh, I also have a super smelter. I built so many farms in the previous episode, I've forgotten which ones they were. That shot was inappropriately close, I apologize. I now have myself an item collection system, and if I run this thing for just a little while, I should have enough cobblestone to last me the entire Hermitcraft season. And oh my goodness, is this a satisfying machine to watch work? Yes, this is already perfect. Oh, the hoppers still aren't fast enough. It's moments like these that I'm very thankful for my infinite wood and infinite iron. This is perfect. This is probably enough for a decent length of time. I'll switch it off and come back to it in like 3 months. Today's Hermitcraft episode is not going to be focused on anything technical. Welcome back to my base area. It's been a little while since I've been over here. I've been focusing on the farms and bits. I absolutely love this place. I'm still so happy with how the windmills came together and how all of the geese came together. But I won't lie, things are looking a little bit messy. You know, there's snow going on. There's this sort of stuff. There's there's the happy ghast floating about. This isn't perfect, and there's all sorts of mud in my wheat field again. I think I need to make this place look a little bit more finished, because this is more than just the starter base. This is the foreground for my mega base, which is going to be sitting on top of this hill. And more importantly, this is where I'm going to live. Like, this is going to be my home for the entire season. The mega base in the background is going to serve a different purpose, a purpose I will describe at some point in the near future. For now, I think it's time I give my terrain some of this treatment. Not necessarily with the deep slate and things, this suits Scar's base, but definitely wouldn't suit mine. I went out the other day and gathered up a whole bunch of sand. Why did I gather so much sand? Genuinely, there was some project that I thought needed a bunch of glass, but I've forgotten what the project was, right? Well, I also gathered a whole bunch of terracotta, which I'm going to dye light grey. I've got stone. It's time to do some geology and work out what sort of rock formations I actually want going around here and going up here. Let's pop into a testing world. I've actually just loaded up the Hermitcraft seed in single player, and I've decided to start playing around with some block palettes and things, and I don't think I have to do anything too complicated here. The one thing that I want to focus on is keeping it light. I could go into the much darker tones, things like deep slate and tough, but I really want this area to be brighter. So I think the light grey terracotta is probably as dark as I'm going to go, and then it goes through stone, and then we've got andesite towards the top, which I've just realised I'm going to need to gather a large amount of this stuff, and it is annoying. Regardless of that, I think this is a pretty solid start, and one thing that I'm going to try and remind myself is that I shouldn't be careful about size. This is about as small as I want to go. I want like macro structures here, relatively big land masses making their way across the landscape, and then I can have little rocks and boulders on the top. I'm feeling happy, so let's get to work on resource gathering. I'm sure someone down in the comment section will let me know of the fast way to gather andesite, but currently I'm just flying around looking for the exposed stuff. XB, what are you doing?
I was wondering the same thing about you.
I'm on the hunt for andesite, the single most frustrating thing to gather large quantities of.
Well, if you find any, these happen to be my holes.
Oh,
if you find any, help yourself.
So, am I like currently? See, I've kind of lost track of where I've flown on the server. Am I just like?
Figured.
Am I kind of just mining out your stuff? I mean,
well, no, that's fine. That's fine. Like these caves, I don't have any plan for.
Okay.
So you're welcome to any and all andesite.
The good thing is, my search, you'll be happy to hear, hasn't been that successful so far. I currently have only 80 andesite. I'm more than happy to go and place it back. It would take me about 20 seconds.
That's completely fine. I think I have like a shulker of andesite. You're welcome to.
Really? Why?
Yeah.
Why do you? Why do you have that? Oh, you've been clearing out massive areas, haven't you? Actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. You've cleared out a whole mountain, haven't you?
I did.
Yeah. Okay. I will gladly take your andesite. Well, I guess that answers my question of what's the most efficient way to get andesite. Evidently, you should unknowingly look for it in XBcrafted's area, attract his attention so that he gives you a free shulker box of andesite to stop you from mining more. You should all try it in your single-player survival worlds and let me know how you get on. I've travelled out to the mining mazer quickly just to make use of the beacon out here to gather a whole bunch of stone, and now I have 3 shulker boxes worth, and I should be ready to get going. Oh... No! How did I... What? No! Oh, I need concrete. Because of the muted tone of light grey concrete, I think of it as being terracotta. It is not terracotta. Is there any terracotta that would look good in this situation? No, they're all awful. Terracotta, more like... Terra gotta get in the bin. I might cut that out. Well, thank goodness I gathered all this sand for that project that I forgot about. I've reached ineptitude squared. I'm so inept that it's become positive again. So now I just need to gather up a whole bunch of gravel, which always takes longer than you expect. This is my life for the time being. And now I am finally ready to go. Let's start placing blocks. I've plonked my camera account somewhere in the sky over here so I can get a good wide view of what I'm doing, which will hopefully help me understand how this is actually coming together. I think in terms of shape, I want to totally avoid any sort of concave situations, any overhangs. And I think I'm going to try my best to keep them kind of squarish, or at least not add too many ripples and waves in the rock formations. They're kind of solid rock towers, I suppose, with very little deviance in the face. Okay, it's a start. There's something there. Don't worry, this top section is going to be converted to moss. All of this grass around here is going to be converted to moss. I think we're off to an okay-ish start. It's always difficult to tell on the first boulder. And now I'm trying to decide if I want it to look like boulders or if I want it to look like a cliff edge, because that does change things somewhat. I have just gone out looking for a little bit more inspiration, and I think this shot from the Banshees of Inisherin is a pretty good example of the sort of cliffs I want to make, and there's actually a lot more small stones. So maybe I will introduce more of those. But at the same time, I want to make sure that I keep things looking fantastical. You know, this doesn't have to be 100% realistic. It can be dramatized. So I kind of like the idea of creating these weird or almost stone stacks and adding a little bit more verticalness to the build. I'm trying my best to think like a boulder and think about boulder distribution and where they would end up on the landscape. It's funny because I know I said I mainly wanted to build big boulders, but I've actually spent most of my time building little ones. I think they just do a really good job at showing almost the way the dirt will have fallen into the gap. So for example, we've got like a gully here, so the dirt would run through the gully and then rocks would distribute down at the bottom there. And we've got this gully, and you can imagine like a boulder falling and then falling down through this gap and piling into here. I think I should probably have some more down here. Oh, I could even make use of buttons. I could go really small, almost like scree. Like, just like a tiny stone runoff in some of these areas. I'm going to moss this area up just to give me a sample as to how the finished product is going to look. I think that's probably wise, and then that can inform my decisions for later elements of the build. Now, does moss take over andesite? Oh, it does. Okay. I really don't want to lose my andesite, so I guess that is something to be sensitive to. This is already starting to feel like it looks a lot more natural. Yes. I should never doubt myself before you do the moss. It makes such a huge difference. Okay, I think we might actually be in business for this looking good. Joel is having a hard time at the minute, isn't he? Blimey. God. Yeah, okay, this looks so real. This looks really real. Excellent. It still looks Minecrafty, but it looks mildly elevated. Much better. I gotta tell you, I am having a ridiculous quantity of fun. I spend a lot of my time thinking about rocks, but generally like real rocks and thinking about like climbing them. Building rocks, that's a whole different mentality, and it's a mentality that I'm enjoying. Our cliffside has expanded ever so slightly, and I would say it is looking good. I think I want to make sure that I don't have too many things in this sort of plane. A lot of these like big blocks are the same height, and I want to try and avoid that in this section. Maybe I'll do a lower area here and then have like a higher tier of boulders, and then I can do some really tall stuff over here. Regardless, I would say things are going well, and this is now one of my favorite views of the base. It's also made this look a lot less messy, which I think is good. Actually, on the topic of that one, I've been thinking a lot about this build here. Oh, I've also extended the boulders around a little bit, and I think it looks really good. But one thing that I've been thinking about with this build is I think there is a little disconnect in my brain where you've got a wheat field existing on top of like an open cavern. And I've spoken about this in the past. I'm incredibly inspired by what Xisumavoid has done. I absolutely love the way that this area looks. I think it just looks incredible. And with the fact that I've got such a perfect wheat field, anytime it gets even remotely trampled, it looks rubbish. It completely ruins it. So I think instead of having it be like this, I'm actually going to break it up. And I'm going to add a break in this area here. So then this feels like it doesn't have a crop on top of it, which I think is good. And then I think I'm going to alternate the crops as well. So we'll have some wheat, then maybe some carrots, some potatoes, maybe some rhubarb over here. Then I can surround each one of the farms with fences, add a few paths and things, and basically make it look less like just one big slab of wheat. Because even just the water inside of this looks ugly. I've made a little bit more progress. Some more of the boulders have been constructed. Got my first truly large-scale cliff face here as well. And I have learned not to look at these things without first mossing the entire area. That doesn't stop it from being nerve-wracking though. Yep, things are looking cool. I think this needs a tiny bit more texture, but honestly, I really like these cliff edges that I'm creating here. This is my first time making cliffs in Minecraft, I think. Like, legitimate looking cliffs. I know I had the thing that my town sat on Hermitcraft Season 10, but that probably wasn't quite big enough to be like a proper cliff, and it didn't really look that natural. These look like natural cliff formations, I would say. I absolutely cannot wait for this entire back area to be done as well. I think that will look so cool, but I'm not going to allow myself to think about that just yet. By the looks of things, I have run out of resources for the first time. That is the one thing about terraforming. It eats way more resources than you realize. I think this might be my final few bits of mossing. I've gone right the way up to this edge. I've kind of wrapped around the back of the build. I feel like this is a good place to stop. I'm just connecting up the front moss to the back moss, and this should just about do it. Let's go to sleep quickly so I get a good first look. And now it is time to inspect my terraforming for the very first time. Okay, that made it sound quite dramatic. It's now time to inspect the full load of my terraforming for the very first time. I've inspected about 7/8 of it so far, but with it all together, gosh, it does look good. Wow, it's made my base look so much more complete. It's completely changed the area. I'm tempted to go back and look at the clips beforehand because I can't even remember what this landscape looked like. So things to do. Things to do is I need to continue on these dead bushes a little bit further so that they're less of a ring around the wheat. I then need to convert the wheat fields into other things and partition it. And then at some point, I need to think of something to do in this area back here because honestly, this is kind of a dead space and I don't really have any major plans for it. But one thing that I learned from BOO last season is gaps between builds and the negative space can be just as interesting as the build itself. Like his Hermitcraft Season 10 base was just so nicely spaced out. There was so much air between the things, so much space for the builds to breathe. And as a person whose entire Minecraft experience has been building compact redstone contraptions, that just doesn't come into my brain very often. Gosh, this area is going to look so cool when all of these are cliffs too. And when all of these cherry blossom trees are removed. I know, I don't mean to be mean. I love the block palette of cherry blossoms, but they don't really fit in with the vibe that I'm going to be going for. A vibe that I'll be explaining at some point in the very near future. But for now, it's time for me to go to bed. I've woken up excited and motivated. I'm just going to get straight to it, and I'm just going to start trampling these crops. I'm going to see if I can cut some good paths through this. I personally feel like this looks pretty good. Yes, that actually looks quite natural. That's a nice shape. It also creates a nice shape here. I think I might just have to round this edge off a little bit more. Perfect. I actually think this is going to make a huge difference. And then I think probably around about here-ish. This is a more complicated one because I want to keep this hill intact and I want to make sure that there's wheat at the bottom of the hill. So I think something like this could probably do the trick. This feels a lot more arbitrary. I don't think that placement is very good, but I also don't think that having a steep wheat field makes sense, because if you think about how wheat is harvested, you wouldn't have it on a steep slope. I'm going to come back to that. For now, I'm going to just set up some of the moss and get that worked out. Okay, I think I definitely need something that denotes that this is a path. Maybe some gravel blocks in there. Well, that's incredibly useful. Of course, I've got a bunch of gravel on me. Maybe a handful of regular dirt blocks as well. Kind of like the path is a little bit trampled. Okay, yes, I think that is better. Now I think I'm going to place fence posts around this entire thing, but I want them to be almost sporadic. I think I'm going to make use of oak wood because it's just nice and subtle. How is this feeling? I'm not connecting everything up, but I'm kind of leaving little holes and gaps. From the ground level, I would say it feels pretty nice. And from my viewpoint on the hill, it is subtle, but looks great. It really finishes off the border of the wheat. I actually think that this has worked. Now, one other thing that I quickly want to do is cover up all of the water sources with slabs, because I think that's what's making this place look messy when I'm flying over, and I actually think I'm going to place the slabs up high. Now, the reason being is the wheat is high, so this is like a smaller deviation of height. I'm also putting them on the edges here, covering up the dirt, because the dirt is actually quite a harsh kind of magenta-y color, and this should also allow us to walk up without having to do too many jumps. Wow. Okay. Yes, that is so much better than this. This looks so messy now compared to this area. It's like, because of the Elytra, we're now spending much more time above the build. And this is important. Making sure that it looks good from this angle is important. It looks so much cleaner now. Look at that. There's no water poking through. There's nothing ugly in that area. That looks like a nice, pristine wheat field. This makes me think that I can actually keep the wheat for the other sections because I do love the way the gold contrasts with the landscape. I just think I need to make this pathway gap a little bit more substantial and then also spread out the dead bushes downwards. But now, Xisumavoid has something cool he wants to show me.
I just finished building a contraption and I thought Mumbo would love this.
All right, I'm extremely curious to see what this is because your contraptions this season have been, like, interesting. You've been doing interesting.
They've been very golem-y.
Yeah, they've been heavily golem-y. Is this one golem-y as well?
No,
okay.
No golem.
All right.
It's very buildstone actually. It's very animated. That's why I thought you'd like it.
Perfect. I'm excited to check it out. I'm pretty jealous of your copper cape.
Oh yeah, I got that. Did you not get one?
No. I always I don't think I've got a single cape. Like I might have like the default migrator's cape. I don't think I never redeemed any of my Minecon capes. Oh dear. I haven't done anything.
You're not a cape collector then?
No.
I'm a bit of a fiend for them, honestly. Whenever they come around, I'll try and grab one.
Oh, nice. No, this one suits you, especially with your like coppery armor boots.
Oh yeah. Totally matches the. I mean, look, I can go back into golem mode, right?
Yeah.
But here's the thing: that part of my season is over now.
It's
so
done.
like, I need to. I need to like figure out what to do with this armor now.
Yeah. My goodness, the warehouse is looking really cool, and I feel so bad because I've done absolutely zero things to help you.
Don't even worry about it. I'm happy to just chip away and put in some farms. Let me tell you what's in here. You got a basalt generator if ever you need it. There's a sugarcane farm. We got a dirt machine here, bone mill, and then you can use the wheat and the mud to make packed. Whatever it is, packed mud. You got your glow lichen, a little crop farm that uses darkness, then bone meal and moss.
You've been going at it.
All right, hold shift when you head down.
Okay.
You don't want to take any damage down here. Oh, there's spoilers. Don't look, Mumbo.
All right.
Oh. Okay, I forgot about that. There you go.
Okay.
So
you've got like I've seen videos about this stuff using the maps and everything like that to create almost like RGB panels.
Yes. Yes, I've seen the same videos. I got
cool.
shown this, right? I got shown this recently, but it was being used statically.
Yeah. Oh, you've done a good job.
My first thought was just like you can change where the light source comes from, right?
Yes. Oh my goodness. And I'm guessing wait, you now have these maps. So
I have these maps.
You've done the hard bit.
Actually, I did it a really stupidly easy way.
Right, okay.
I went to the end dimension. So I got a grey one for the void, and I got a yellow one from all of that end stone.
Really?
So we got 2 plain colours to work with here.
Wait. So this white one is just you fly over the end void and then just make a map.
That's end stone. That one right there.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
That's pure end stone, thanks to Cubfan.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And the
yeah.
other
yeah.
one,
He's done the hard work there. That's amazing.
Exactly.
That's so funny.
That is the roof of the Nether.
Oh, that's kind of psychedelic and kind of cool, right? That looks like a.
It is. Yeah.
That looks like a sort of like 70s album cover. Like you can imagine some warpy text on that, and then it's golden. That's
it's a little
cool.
trippy, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the grey that I'm using, and that's from the void. I kind of thought the void would just be straight black, but it's not. It's like a grey. Here's another question: How do you think the redstone behind it works?
So I would imagine the way that I would probably do it is just sending like. I guess you're going up and down. So I guess you'd have some kind of like comparator, like pulse. Not pulse, signal strength increaser and then decreaser, and then it's powering on redstone lamps gradually and then unpowering them.
That is exactly how I intended to originally do it.
Okay.
And then I found out that I couldn't just make that happen with the comparators. It was really difficult.
Right, okay.
Dude, that's your redstone challenge, man. I want to see that circuit.
Okay.
I want to see it done. Because let me show you what I did instead.
I'm interested to see now.
You're gonna love the way I did it.
Yeah.
It's really clean. It's really clean and effective. But it's not smart level redstone, right?
No, but
it's this machine here.
Yes, yeah. I like that. Yeah. I mean, that is a perfectly good way to do it. Like, if it's working,
really,
it's working.
It? It's not so bad.
That is amazing. Yeah, I mean, that is. Yeah,
it gets the job done.
Honestly, compactors doesn't mean anything in survival. This is the funny thing about redstone contraptions. You have like an infinite world to play with, and you could spend 4 hours trying to make it really compact, or just do this, and it works perfectly well. Xisuma is doing incredible things this season, and I'm so glad that he's my neighbor. I've been messing about with the wheat field formations. Ignore this strip of dirt here. This was me just terraforming this hill a little bit more, but I think this is going to be the gap between these two, and then also I think I'm going to do a loop around this and then have stones here. This really steep bit of land is just constantly getting trampled, and it always looks really messy and rubbish. So I think if I actually put a bunch of stones and like little mini boulders in here, it will look much better. I'm almost thinking that this area here as well would make for another perfect wheat spot. I mean, this giant flat land here, yeah, I think this would be good, because whenever I fly in from this angle, I'm very, very quickly reminded how long and skinny my base is, and I think this would bulk things out just a little bit. All right, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling excited. I think this is going to work. Yes. Okay. Yes. This is coming together. Just get all of the fence posts in, and I think we're in business now. The one thing that I want to add is like a bigger hay bale in the center of this area here. I think that will balance everything out. Perfect. That looks good. This one looks good too. This is one of those jobs in Minecraft that is kind of odd. It's like I'm not really working towards any sort of concrete objective. I really couldn't tell you what I'm actually doing right now other than separating my wheat fields. I'm just clearing out paths, creating space, and trying my best to make it so that my little plants here fit in with the natural landscape, which I think is going well. This, again, is going to be bouldered up, so I think that will look good. And I think once all of this area gets converted to moss, that should also look pretty cool. And I actually can't wait to see how it all looks once it's done and compare it to how it looked at the start of the episode, because I think it will be fairly unrecognizable. Oh, so that's why my wheat keeps getting trampled. And here I was thinking it was green. Nice. I would say this little boulder field is looking good, way better than the sort of sprinkled wheat. I think these 2 wheat need to go, and then it'll be perfect. My base is finally starting to look somewhat acceptable from the back, and while flying over it as well. That was an angle that was absolutely horrible previously, whereas now it's looking good. I just have to add all of the fence posts to this segment, place in all of the slabs to cover up all of the water, which is a huge upgrade. And now everything is looking 10 out of 10. Like, seriously, so much better than it was before. It looks so much more finished. Oh, and this little wheat field peeking out the back here, that looks lovely. It all looks natural. Everything's flowing together. I just need to continue on this path through this gap and then need to make a big old bean here. I mean, look at this spot. This spot is asking for a gigantic wheat field. Cover up this gap, cover up this water, move the happy gas somewhere where it's not distracting, get rid of this snow, and then I'll have a finished looking base once again. I tell you what, I'm getting a little bit envious of all the castles that are popping up over the server here. I just thought I'd head over this direction quickly to pick up some ice because ice is stackable water buckets. I do think planting massive wheat fields is one of the most satisfying things in the game. So you're trampling my crops as well? I'm just gonna say it. I don't think entities should be able to trample crops. I think it should be players only, that is all. And while we're on that topic, I don't think zombies should be able to pick up eggs and glow squid ink. Multiple times every single year, the Hermitcraft server grinds to a halt because hundreds of zombies are just stuck in a cave somewhere. I've tilled all the soil and I would say this shape is looking good. I think it gives the base a good balance because this is big, but then this area out the back is bigger. So let's get this planted and then get it surrounded in moss. Then maybe a handful of boulders dotted around. And finally the ring fence to just finish everything off. And I think we are in a good place. Now let's kill off these final chickens. I've moved on my happy ghast and now I'm moving on chicken. Now it's just the final little short dry grasses to place and the build is now all completed. So currently on the screen I've got what it looked like at the start of today's Hermitcraft episode. Flat wheat field, no terrain, no nothing. And now this is what we've got. It looks so pretty. I love the short grass. The short grass has really made a difference as well. It's kind of trickled everything off and connected up this landscape to this. This looks so much better with the gaps between all of the wheat. It just looks so much cleaner, so much more broken up. I think it gives more things for your eye to focus on. Like, even though there's technically less wheat now, it feels like there is structure to the build a lot more. It just feels a tiny bit more purposeful, and one place that it definitely looks better from is from above. This is working out. Yes, this is working out. This is somewhere that I want to live. It's super nice, super pretty. Yeah, it's all coming together. It is all coming together. I'm really, really happy with how this foreground element of my base looks. So soon it will be time to start work on the background elements, the mega base itself, which I will explain at some point in the near future. For now though, I hope you enjoyed, and I will catch you all in the next Hermitcraft episode.